Local, trusted. This is News 3 at 10 on KBTX.
The Aggies will finally host a home game after multiple games being postponed because of COVID-19 contact tracing. As cases locally continue to rise in the community, News 3's Kendall Hogan speaks with a few local restaurants that are prepping for a safe game day experience.
As the fourth Aggie home game gets closer to kickoff, local restaurants are working to make sure they're ready for game time too.
Anything that brings people to the hotels and brings extra commerce is absolutely essential. We'll take whatever we can get.
Andreas DeLise, owner of Public in Maine, says they know the public might be concerned about visiting them on game day, but says they are taking multiple precautions.
You know, we check temperatures of employees. We have sanitation stations. We're making sure people have masks on. All these things, you know, on top of our normal scope of work, we have to execute every day.
Thomas Ayers, general manager at Dudley's Draw, says they have cleaning schedules and have revamped how they do business compared to last season.
We're making sure we have enough people on staff to make sure everything's clean. Everything's spread out. We have, you know, plexiglass dividers on our booths. And we're doing our best to make sure everybody can be safe and have a good time.
Both say this effort, along with so many other CDC guidelines, are being done to make sure that every customer feels comfortable.
Then we'll accommodate anybody if they have any special requests because, you know, right now we understand that different people have different levels of security on their own minds with the pandemic.
In College Station, Kendall Hogan, News 3.
The Aggies will take on the Tigers tomorrow. Kickoff is at 6 p.m.
Well, if you've stepped outside this evening or maybe just opened up the window, you'll notice there's a lot more moisture hanging in the air, and it's contributing to a little bit of that fog across the region. Basically, anywhere you see humidity values sitting closer to 90%, that's where we're starting to notice that cloud deck coming down just a little bit closer to the surface. And in some locations, it's just more of a pesky drizzle that's keeping those windshield wipers going at a decent pace tonight. Notice visibilities in many locations, especially across the heart of the Brazos Valley, sitting below 3 miles. I think we'll be battling some of this patchy fog through the rest of this evening, especially if you're not getting in on some of the rain. The heaviest rain tonight still sits closer and south of the I-10 corridor, but we are starting to see another band of rain starting to set up from Brenham to Navasota, up through the southern portions of Walker County as well. So don't be surprised if you hear a couple more rumbles of thunder through the rest of this evening. We'll walk you through that pinpoint forecast coming up here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Erica. Changes to Black Friday shopping were expected this year as we navigate through this pandemic. Many shoppers still ventured out to stores, but crowds were much smaller than usual. Despite COVID-19 setbacks, reports say holiday spending is expected to go up nearly 5% compared to last year's spending. With many deals being moved to online this year, shoppers we spoke with said they did feel safe while hitting the sales today.
The stores are doing, I would say, a great job at making sure that everything is spread out so that you're not like squished up against each other, and that they're doing a good job of like sanitizing like the checkout stuff and everything. So yeah, I would say the stores are.
The National Retail Federation says holiday hiring is also expected to be up this year compared to last year's 563,000 seasonal hires. Seniors have their own particular set of challenges when it comes to food insecurity. News 3's Donnie Tuggle looks at how it takes a community effort to make sure seniors' food needs are met in the Brazos Valley.
Pam Engler has been delivering food for Meals on Wheels for more than 40 years.
Well, I do it because there's such a need in our community to make sure that our older citizens have enough to eat and good food, good quality food. And besides that, I have met some very wonderful people by doing this.
It takes close to 100 volunteers to cook, package, and deliver meals to 850 seniors who depend on Meals on Wheels for meals each day.
The more you get out there, you find a lot of people that don't have transportation or ways to get to the store, or even just to make a meal for them would be difficult at times.
Shannon Avila with the Brazos Valley Food Bank says partnering with other agencies is vital because they already know who might need extra help.
We partner with them to provide the senior bags to those partners, and those partners get them out to seniors that they know need extra food help. When
you go out and you're delivering these meals, there's so many of those people that don't get to see anybody else on a daily basis. So it also gives us that chance to make contact with the people who otherwise wouldn't be seeing anybody at all.
And Brian, Donnie Tuggle, News 3.
To find out more how you can help seniors in the Brazos Valley, you'll find a link with the story at KBTX.com. Here's a reminder that our Food for Families food drive is coming up next week. It's Wednesday, December 2nd. We'll have drop-off locations across the Brazos Valley. Non-perishable food items and monetary donations are accepted. The Salvation Army's annual Angel Tree program needs your help as they have seen a big increase of kids in need this holiday season. With more than 2,000 angels to be adopted this year, the Salvation Army says they need people to adopt these angels now more than ever. Right now, there are 1,200 kids left who the Salvation Army says otherwise would not have Christmas gifts. Gifts range from clothes to bikes that all goes to local children.
So many kids have gone without something this year, have missed out on some opportunity, and we don't want Christmas to be a part of that list. We want children to still have Christmas when they wake up, to have those toys or clothes under the tree, and we don't want parents to feel like they have to make a choice between providing that Christmas and providing other key things.
If you're interested in being a part of the Angel Tree program, the trees are located at Walmart on Briarcrest and Post Oak Mall. Each tree has a child's name with their Christmas list. Gifts can be dropped off at Post Oak Mall by December 12th. If you don't feel comfortable shopping or adopting in person, you can do it online at salvationarmybcs.org. With Thanksgiving behind us, many families are now gearing up for Christmas by searching for the perfect Christmas tree. The Farm Patch opened their tree lot on University Drive and College Station today. The rain didn't stop hundreds from coming out with their families and taking in the sights and sounds of the holidays. Mark Scamardo says the demand for quality trees has been great.
They've been calling for 2 weeks wanting to know when our trees were coming in, when our wreaths were, so everybody's excited about it, and our employees are excited. We're glad to be here, and we just want it to be a fun time for for all of our customers.
The Farm Patch Christmas tree lot is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays. After the break, COVID-19 cases are on the rise across the nation. We're taking a look at how federal officials are working to control the spread. Plus, coming up in about 10 minutes during Big Game Friday night, Darrell says A&M Consolidated and Rudder are colliding over at Merrill Green Stadium with a playoff spot on the line.
And we are continuing to watch as rain continues to filter into the Brazos Valley. I think it's going to mean a more soggy Saturday for many of us here across the region. We'll get another look at that pinpoint forecast in a bit.
You're watching News 3 at 10 on KBTX.
The CDC has called an emergency meeting on Tuesday so an advisory committee can vote on which Americans should get a coronavirus vaccine first if one is approved by the FDA next month. The last-minute meeting comes as the U.S. shatters another record tonight. More than 13 million Americans have now been infected by the virus as a surge of new cases nationwide shows no signs of slowing down. Adriana Diaz has more.
Tonight, more Americans than ever are in hospitals with COVID. Thanksgiving Day, hospitalizations nationwide hit a record high of more than 90,000 people. 32 states saw increases in new daily COVID cases, with Pennsylvania, Arkansas, and Massachusetts breaking records. A dip in positivity rates in some states could be the result of a surge in pre-holiday testing, says Dr. Emily Landon of the University of Chicago Medical Center.
A lot of people flooded into testing programs to get tested before they traveled for Thanksgiving. But they do bring the positivity rates down by flooding the testing market with a number of low-risk individuals.
The CDC now says that the real total number of U.S. cases is likely 8 times higher than previously thought due to underreporting, false negatives, and asymptomatic carriers who were never tested. Even star quarterback Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens tested positive yesterday. He's the latest on a team grappling with an outbreak that punted their Thanksgiving matchup against the Steelers to next week, testing the NFL's COVID protocols. And on the vaccine front, tonight the CDC committee focused on distributing vaccines announced that a vote at an emergency meeting on Tuesday would lay out who gets the vaccine first.
We are almost full or full kind of every day.
And hospitals already on the brink are bracing for a new rush, given long lines on Black Friday and after 6.5 million people flew this holiday week.
What's done is done in terms of our Thanksgiving Day gatherings. If you learn that someone from your Thanksgiving gathering has COVID or came down with COVID or is sick, then you definitely want to quarantine. There are so many cases right now that you will probably not hear from a contact tracer.
Adriana Diaz, CBS News.
Stick around, we've got Big Game Friday night coming up after the break. Here's Briarcrest and Highway 6 on our Live Eye Network.
News 3 weather from the Pinpoint Forecast team is sponsored by First Financial Bank. Local bankers putting you first. And now, local weather.
This isn't a forecast where we're talking about huge temperature swings. Sure, it is going to be a little bit colder as we head into the weekend, but largely it's going to be more of a story of the rain and the rumbles of thunder that we may be hearing between tonight and early tomorrow. So where temperatures sit now, they don't fall much further. Most of us are going to be waking up upper 50s, low 60s. And that's pretty much where we land again for your Saturday. So don't expect a big change in your temperatures, but do expect bigger changes on when we can expect rain and rumbles of thunder to be rolling through our region. Notice in the morning, we will have a chance to see a few of those showers working through, but really it's once we get towards the afternoon hours and even into the early evening that we will have to watch for a few of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. And yes, that may get closer to kickoff time at 6 o'clock over at Kyle Field. We'll be monitoring that forecast closely. Overall, it's about an 80% chance for rain. That means a lot of us will find rain. Some, unfortunately, will probably go the weekend without seeing a whole lot of extra rainfall totals added into what you've already seen. Then we sweep all of this moisture on out of here. That comes with a cold front and maybe a very isolated rain chance for our eastern counties come Sunday. And really, it's just a breezy wind and some cooler temperatures that are filtering in by the second half of the weekend. Then we'll quiet things down for Monday and Tuesday. Bring back a little bit more of that sunshine. Something to note, Tuesday morning we may be watching for a little bit of a light freeze across the region, so just kind of keep that in mind. Then on its heels, we're going to watch for another system to roll through. That brings a rain chance back by the middle part of the week. But the one we're dealing with now is all associated with this big upper level area of low pressure and this jet stream that's basically parked over southeast Texas. What the jet stream does is it basically opens up the atmosphere and allows us to get a lot more of these scattered rain chances to continue to develop even though we're well past sunset. So you notice most of the activity sits well down towards our south, but we are starting to see a bit more of this activity develop along and just to the north of the I-10 corridor. So yes, we have seen a couple of rumbles of thunder across Austin, Waller counties, and we're starting to see this band fill in across the southeastern portions of the region as well. So expect this story to really continue as we head into the overnight hours tonight. I think our southern counties will be a little bit more favored for some more of this activity. Then we start to enter into Saturday morning. This is when we may start to hear a few rumbles of thunder rolling through. Notice it's just kind of wave after wave as we continue on through your Saturday. Keeps the rain chance going through a good portion of your afternoon and even into the evening. And really, I would expect more of us to find rain throughout Saturday than not before most of that activity starts to clear on out of here as we get towards early on your Sunday. And then it's just a struggle to try and find the sunshine to really help warm up those temperatures by the second half of the weekend. Notice a good portion of this week is going to be spent into the upper 50s, low 60s. And we are going to work on a little bit more of that sunshine by the end of the week.
Up next in sports, been a tough night for some of our Brazos Valley High School football playoff teams, including the Navasota Rattlers. They fell behind after this fumble recovery for a touchdown and just couldn't regroup.
Game Friday night, sponsored by Norman T. Tractor.
It is a playoff atmosphere at Merrill Green Stadium. Howdy, Brazos Valley, and thanks for joining us for Big Game Friday night. As the high school football regular season starts to come to a close, both A&M Consolidated and Rudder have a shot to get into the playoffs, but each team's fate centers around winning tonight. The Tigers wrapping up the regular season this evening against Rudder. The Rangers, they still have one more regular season game to play. Opening drive for Rudder. E.J. Ezar with the screen pass to Keithron Lee. He's able to find some running room. 27 yards later is in the end zone as the Rangers have a 7-0 lead. The score stays that way until early in the second quarter. Keyshawn Thomas will break loose at the 11. And then he wins the 89-yard race to the end zone on the other end. Game tied at 7, and the Thomas fan club excited about the long touchdown run by their favorite Tiger. Rudder on the move to retake the lead. They pick up the first down on the completion of Lee, but he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Eric Goodman. The Tigers will turn that miscue into points. Kyle Willis, the 16-yard completion to a wide-open Brody Daniel. Consol leads it at the break 14-7. This one goes to overtime, and the Tigers take it 24-21, and they punch their ticket to the playoffs. District championship in 10-5A claimed by Huntsville after their 23-15 win over Montgomery on the road. Down in Waller, the second-place College Station Cougars looking for their 6th straight win as they take on the Bulldogs. Cougars jump out to an early 7-0 lead. Jet Huff caps off the College Station opening drive with a 2-yard touchdown run. Waller would score to tie the game, but the Cougars answer. This 1-yard touchdown run by Marquise Collins puts College Station back on top, 14-7. Waller trying to cut into the advantage, going for it on 4th and 2 from the Cougar 33, but Harrison Robinson comes up with a sack. College Station gets the ball back and scores to make it 21-7. Following a Waller interception, the Cougars strike again. This time it's Roderick Brown who races 55 yards untouched to the end zone, and College Station wins this one in a runaway, 61-21. Bryan Vikings wrap up the regular season against Ellison, and they lock up a playoff spot with a 24-22 win over the Eagles. As for the playoffs now, regional semifinals with Navasota taking on Geronimo Navarro. First drive for the Rattlers. Jamar Jesse drops back, but the pass is picked off by Ben Maniga, and he will take it down to the 5-yard line for Navarro. Panthers need just one play by Brody Whitson to punch it in, and they have a 7-0 lead. Navasota responds. Jamarian Freer gets the handoff, takes it 15 yards for the score. That ties the game at 7. But with under 3 to play in the half, Drew Gonzalez will fumble the ball, and Mark Wozniak is there for the scoop, and the score 70 yards later. It's a touchdown. Navarro does not look back. They beat the Rattlers 28-7. Class 3A, district rivals Lexington and Franklin colliding in Brenham in the regional semis. Franklin starts the scoring with a rare pass from the Lions. Marcus Wade goes deep to Malcolm Murphy. He hauls it in for a 7-0 Franklin lead. Lions then go to the ground. Bryson Washington up the middle, spinning into the end zone. Franklin takes a 14-0 lead in the second quarter. Lions add to that advantage. Seth Spiller on the outside waving goodbye to the defense on his way into the end zone. 21-0 Franklin. It was all lines in this one. Murphy again makes the defense miss. Then he finds a hole on his way to the end zone for another touchdown. Franklin rolls into the state quarterfinals with a 40-7 win. The Lions are going to face the winner between Rogers and Buffalo. They were playing at WISD Stadium. Bison added their 3-0 lead early. Brett Hoffman with a touchdown pass to Jordan Rogers, and Buffalo goes up 10-0. Rogers will respond, though. Christian Watkins runs it in on the option pitch. The Bison, though, still on top, 10-6. Then it appears Rogers just launches a ball out of a cannon. Austin Hood, though, comes down with the Riley Dollinger pass that makes his way to the end zone. Rogers takes a 13-10 lead, but Buffalo gets a score from Hoffman as the Bison lead it at the half 17-13, and they hold on to win it 37-35. In Class 2A, unbeaten Normandy knocked off by Beckville 22-19. 2A Division II, Snook's playoff run is over after a 56-6 loss to Cristobal. Calvert's season ends at the hands of Richland Springs again, 48-34 the final this year. Well, Big Game Friday night continues. We're going to look ahead to the Aggie men's basketball team's season opener on Sunday against New Orleans. Plus, we're going to hear from the Texas Aggie football team as they step back on the field against LSU tomorrow night.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers, sponsored by Hinson Brand. We deliver for free. For more scores and highlights, visit the KBTX.com sports page. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
You pay less, but you get much more at the Dollar Floor Store.
Why pay more at the big box store? Save money at the Dollar Floor Store. Like this gorgeous vinyl playing, save $300 today at the Dollar Floor Store. And we offer 0% financing for up to 24 months, so why wait? Come see our huge selection in stock. It's the Big Orange Building, just south of the Bend on Texas Avenue in Bryan.
Shop at the Dollar Floor Store.
Still hard to find a spot. just easier to park. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Now during the Chevy Cyber Sales event, use $500 Cyber Cash on most SUV models to get $4,250 total cash allowance on all 2020 Trax models. Visit ChevyCyberSalesEvent.com today.
To those who protect us every second of every day. The many whose return home is never guaranteed. To the brave men and women who stand on this line, we say thank you.
Versa, Carey, and Brian backs the blue.
At Brazos Valley Roofing, we are firefighter owned and operated. We always back the blue.
We're Brazos Star Credit Union, and we proudly back the blue.
A&B was born in the Wild West, land of cowboys and outlaws. It was awesome, but not for us, because we were bankers.
Howdy!
They wore holsters and spurs. We had those sharp bow ties. They had 6 shooters. We had ledgers. 128 years later, the outlaws are gone, and we've made Texas banking history. A&B. We're boring as hell, but we're here for the long haul.
Call it a feeling, call it a premonition. Things are about to go my way. You don't have to see it, just believe it's coming. Some things are bound to
The wait's almost over. Welcome back to Big Game Friday night. The Texas A&M football team will play their first game in 3 weeks tomorrow night at Kyle Field as they host LSU. Aggies entering the game with a 5-1 record and ranked number 5 in the first college football playoff rankings. A year ago, the Maroon and White went to Baton Rouge, lost 50-7 as LSU marched on to win the national title. Tomorrow night, it'll give the Aggies a chance to beat the defending champs and get some payback for the 2019 loss. Those thoughts may be more for the fans than the players, as the Aggies say they're just preparing for the next team on the schedule.
We come every week looking at our opponent. We look at our scouting report, and our coaches, they do a great job of preparing us throughout the week to get ready for the game. So, I mean, we look at everybody as the next opponent. We don't really look at, what they did or what they're doing. So we just got to focus in on what we have to do and how we're going to execute.
Kickoff for Texas A&M and LSU is set for 6 tomorrow night at Kyle Field. The game will be televised on ESPN. We'll talk a lot more extensively about the ball game during Aggie Game Day tomorrow. The show will get underway at 5 live outside of Kyle Field on the CW8 Aggieland. After a few weeks of COVID issues with our CBS SEC football schedule, we're cranking things back up with the Iron Bowl. 22nd ranked Auburn traveling to Tuscaloosa to battle number 1 ranked Alabama without head coach Nick Saban, who has tested positive for the coronavirus. Coverage begins at 2, kickoff set for 2:30, right here on your official Aggie Sports station. Over in Austin this afternoon, 15th ranked Iowa State battling number 17 Texas with a chance to clinch at least a share of the Big 12 regular season title. Third quarter, Texas adds to a 3-point halftime advantage. Sam Ehlinger hitting Jared Wiley 7 yards on the touchdown pass. Longhorns lead at 20-10, but Iowa State mounts a comeback. Cyclones down 3 with less than 2 to play. Brees Hall scores from 3 yards out. Iowa State takes their first lead at 23-20. Texas with a chance to tie the game as time runs out, but Cameron Dicker's 57-yard attempt is no good, and Iowa State gets a big win. They beat Texas 23-20. Buzz Williams and his Aggie men's basketball team will tip off the 2021 season on Sunday against the New Orleans Privateers over at Reed Arena. The Aggies have been dealing with a lot of change since their season was abruptly stopped last March. They say they're ready to get going and anxious to see some new faces and different jerseys on the court.
It'll be a lot of excitement for sure. I think when you play against your teammates for so long, it's kind of like a dog on a chain that's trying to get off. like when you finally let it off, like it's just gonna go crazy. So I feel like Sunday would be a great season opener. I think everybody's excited to play.
The Privateers hold a 2-1 lead in this series against the Aggies, but A&M won the last meeting in College Station 2014. Tip-off set for 2 at Reed Sunday. Jason Hooten and his Sam Houston State Bearcats in Lubbock facing Texas Tech. Red Raiders up at the break and adding to their advantage. Marcus Santos gets the shooter's roll with the inside bucket. Tech up 24. Santos scores a dozen in the game. Brian High product Zach Nuttall leads the Bearcats with 14 points, including the rebound flush in the second half. But it would be too much Texas Tech. They win at 84-52. Tomorrow afternoon at 4, the 13th ranked Aggie women's basketball team will be taking on number 19 DePaul in Chicago. That game can be streamed on DePaul All Access.